Just I don't really know if that's even answerable. But like I had mentioned, right, when Riva had, this is in the very beginning of this episode, attempted to swing that lightsaber at Nari, and this Grand Inquisitor used the Force to stop him. Like, are these direct disciples of Anakin Skywalker? Because how are they able to use the Force and wield lightsabers in the same way that Jedi do? And obviously they're not Jedi; they're hunting Jedi, right? They're Inquisitors. But I guess that's like my kind of question. Are these actual Siths? Are these Siths in training? Are these just random bad guys that tend to have certain abilities? I'm curious. Like, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I think that goes into the question of if they actually made the rank of like Sith Lord, right? Like, I guess anyone that's Force sensitive and has some sort of metachlorian count, I'm assuming could wield a lightsaber and use it. I don't think they're exactly Sith Lords, but someone would have to appoint them as a Sith, I'm assuming.
The thing is that there's a rule of Siths. There is a master and an apprentice, and like no more, no less. So like they obviously, if more than one can wield a lightsaber or whatever, Anakin can't be their quote unquote Jedi master or Sith Lord to them specifically, just by the lay of the law there. But I'm just curious as to what they are, because they are so that you can use the Force and you can use a lightsaber. That's pretty Sith-like. So it's like, where did they get this training from? At least from this point, we've seen the Grand Inquisitor able to use the Force and wield the lightsaber, and then we obviously saw Riva with the lightsaber herself, and we saw the fifth brother. He had it on his back in that little circle thing too, so he's got a lightsaber as well. So I don't know if we've really seen any Force abilities from those two just yet. We have for sure from the Grand Inquisitor, and so I don't know. It would be interesting to see their rise to where they started their training to where they are as Inquisitors right now. I don't believe that they would be Siths, because I just don't see Anakin taking on apprentices. I think he was so consumed by his own power that he wanted to be like the greatest of all the villains. So he wasn't going to give his knowledge or power to anyone else, and he still technically had. If we go by the timeline, Palpatine or Darth Sidious was still his, quote unquote Sith Lord, so he wouldn't have the transition wouldn't make sense as it was, and especially with the number of Inquisitors that we see, which are 3. You couldn't be able to to train them all at the same time. So I don't know what they are. It's just a quick, interesting debate for sure. I was curious as to your thoughts on them, and how they came across this ability to use the Force. And they have a level of control over it, right? At least Grand Inquisitor does, right? He stopped her right before she did a full ass swing into his arm and started burning his shoulder a little bit. He stopped it and pushed her away using the Force. And obviously they've all got lightsabers, so it's like, these individuals are a little bit more than just your normal bad guys. But how far up do they go on the bad guy food chain, I guess is the debate. So I don't know. I would say they're high mid level bad guys. That's what I would say. I'm not sure. I don't think that they are in training to be the next Sith Lord or anything. But you can definitely see how it looks optically, and well, damn, they can use a Force. They do use a lightsaber. They are on the bad team. What's going on here? So yeah, just the last thing I had there.